In this episode, I share my personal experience with feeling stuck. Get excited because this is Tiny Leaps, Big Change. Welcome to another episode of Tiny Leaps, Big Changes, where I share simple strategies you can use to get more out of your life. My name is Gregg Clunis, and in this episode, we are looking at being stuck, sort of feeling like you've reached a certain place in life and maybe you can't really move forward. You can't keep going. And I know that experience very personally. I have a few strategies that can help you with that experience. So I'm really excited to jump into those, share my story with you, share what has worked for me. But ultimately, this episode's job is less about teaching you something and more about connecting with you, showing you that you aren't the only one feeling what you are feeling right now. So this should be a really good one. Now, before we jump into it, today's the last day to enter for a chance to win one of three $50 Amazon gift cards. All you have to do to enter is head over to www.tinyleaps.fm/survey. That's tinyleaps.fm/survey. The survey should take 5 minutes. You do have to complete it. I see a lot of you guys started it and for whatever reason didn't finish it. You have to finish it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to enter you in the drawing. Now, I'm going to be giving away three $50 Amazon gift cards. The drawing is completely random, and I'm going to be doing it tomorrow on February 1st. I will be emailing the winners. So head over to tinyleaps.fm/survey to get entered for that. So let's talk about feeling stuck. And this can happen pretty much in any part of your life, right? Whether it's your nutrition, your finances, your personal, emotional health, your career, your relationships, like any area of your life, you can start to feel stuck. You can start to feel like you've plateaued or you're just not sure where you're going. And I always struggle with this feeling. I always struggle with not feeling like I'm making progress, not feeling like I'm moving forward, right? I struggle to exist in that environment where nothing is really happening, nothing is getting pushed forward or moving towards something. And this is something that I've been struggling with for maybe the last 2 years. One of the things that is really honestly kind of interesting, I've mentioned this on the show before. This show wasn't supposed to take off. Now, don't get me wrong. I am beyond happy that it did. I'm so excited to take it further and to connect deeper with the people that listen to this show and watch this show on YouTube. But originally, this wasn't the plan. Originally, hosting this show, creating a podcast, creating content on this topic was not the plan. That was not the thing that I was going to do. I didn't really know what that thing was, but this wasn't necessarily it. And then it took off and it became something that I am incredibly passionate about, something that I work extremely hard at to try and create something that is valuable, something that helps you, something that connects with you, something that connects you to other people. So it is now something that I truly love, but for a long time, it felt like I didn't choose it. And what I mean by that is I never sat down and wrote out goals for, I want to accomplish this, and to do that, I'm going to start this podcast and I'm going to grow it to XYZ. Like, I didn't really have goals around it. I didn't really have a target, a thing I was working towards. And so when it took off, it sort of caught me by surprise a little bit. And since then, I've just sort of been doing the best I can to maintain it. It's more or less a one-man show. I am getting more and more help thanks to people from the community, people that have volunteered, people that are asking to work with me. Like that has been an incredible thing. But for a very long time, this was a one-man show, and I just did the best I could. I just showed up every day, recorded episodes, planned episodes, researched episodes, found things to talk about, found guests to interview, found ideas to share. And not every single episode was amazing, but some of them were good, I like to think. Some of them were valuable. Some of them helped people. So this was something that sort of happened by accident a little bit. And what that meant was I ended up getting so stuck in the operation of it that I was never really able to think future. I was never able to think long term. I was never able to create goals and targets and things I wanted to work towards. And what that has led to is getting to a place where it feels like I'm just on a hamster wheel. And I don't mean that in the sense of not wanting to do the show anymore, because I definitely do. Let me make that 100% clear. I am here for a while. Just want to make sure that that is reinforced. But because there's nothing that I was working towards, there was nothing that I was actually trying to accomplish, it felt like I was stuck in one place. It felt like I wasn't actually moving anything forward. I was just sort of keeping things alive. And that is not an easy place for me to be in. And I'm sure for many of you watching or listening, that's not an easy place for you to be either. So I am super familiar with the dynamics of feeling stuck, with the dynamics of feeling like, what am I even doing? Why am I even doing this? What am I even working towards? And I also fully understand, and this is something I talk about a lot in therapy that I'm going to share with you now. I fully understand what it's like to not even know what you want, right? Because at some point I did try to stop. I did try to slow down and ask myself, what do I actually want from this? What do I want to turn this show into? What do I want to create here? What do I want to leave as an impact? What am I working towards? And I didn't have an answer, and I couldn't find an answer. And that was largely just because I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was or what career I was trying to build or what was interesting to me, what mattered to me. I didn't know so much about myself. And as a result, as a byproduct of that, I didn't know so much about this show and what it could be, what it should be. So I know what it's like to be stuck. And to some extent, I'm still a little bit stuck now, but I've started to dig my way out. And what I want to do next is share with you the approach I'm taking to dig my way out, to start to better understand who I am, what it is that matters to me, what it is I want to create, what it is I want to do, and ultimately where this show is going to go. So I want to share that process with you. I want to share that advice with you and share my experience with you. But that's going to happen after the break. So stick around for that. How would you feel if you saved an extra $1,500 this year without lifting a finger? That's exactly what Empower can help you do. It's really difficult to save as much money as we need to, because as soon as we get extra money, it gets spent. We do the best we can with our budgets and apps to track spending, but somehow it just still doesn't work. Well, there's an app for that. It's called Empower. That's EMPOWER. It's an awesome mobile app that makes saving and managing your money the easiest thing that you'll do all day. For starters, Empower has an automated savings feature. You simply tell the app your weekly savings target, and every day, Empower studies your income and spending and automatically knows when to move the right amount of money into your savings account, where you're less likely to spend it. It's called autosave. Just set it and forget it. And now you can stop Googling for answers to all of your finance questions. You can just text Empower's human coaches who give you personalized recommendations, and they're on standby to steer you through whatever financial challenge might come up in your life. If you want to save $1,500 more this year, you've got to check out the Empower app. Download Empower, that's EMPOWER, in the App Store or Play Store. Over 650,000 other people already have. And if you start today, listeners of this show actually have a special offer. You can get $5 for free, $5 when you use the offer code TINYLEAPS and to reach your savings goal. So to claim that $5 offer, head over to empower.me/tinyleaps and use the offer code TINYLEAPS. We are back and we're talking about feeling stuck, feeling like you're not really making any progress, and how to start moving forward again, how to shake yourself out of that and start feeling like, okay, there's something here. Maybe it's not the ultimate thing, but there's something to start moving on. This is a super interesting convo. This is something that I struggle with a lot. And the process I'm about to share, or rather the 4 ideas I'm about to share, it should help. It's helped me a lot. And every single time I do one of the things on this list, I feel like there's a new spark. There's a new reinvigoration for the things that I'm doing. So hopefully this helps you too. Now, the first thing is very simple. Try something new. And when I say try something new, I mean something unrelated to the thing, right? So if you are focused on your career and you're not sure what you want to be, what you want to do, what you're passionate about, what you love doing, what do you want to climb the career ladder? Like, what should I study in school? Like all of those things, right? I found that when you do something completely out of the ordinary, something completely different, it allows you to get a different perspective on the things that you're thinking about. And I don't have the research on this, but actually I'm going to look that up because I think there's a super interesting dynamic that happens where you take your brain and you put it in a completely new context, completely new situation. And what it does for you is the things that you already have context on and are already thinking about, those things get looked at from this sort of new place, right? Your brain is in a different area basically, and it's looking back at all the things that you've been stressed about or thinking about or planning around. And that distinction between looking at something from the inside and looking at it from this completely different place can sometimes help create new connections and new ideas and help you recognize what's important and what actually matters to you. So if you are feeling stuck and you feel like you haven't made progress, maybe you've hit a wall, then it might be good to keep thinking about that thing, keep planning and strategizing and all of those things, but do something completely out of the ordinary for yourself. Go and try something brand new, whatever that might be for you. Maybe you try a brand new restaurant, or you go rock climbing for the first time, or you take a spin class, or you read a brand new genre of book. Whatever new means to you, try something completely new that is unrelated to that initial thing. And when you come back to it, you might be able to look at it from a different perspective. That has worked extremely well for me. Number 2 is to break the mold. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean, look at that thing that you are working on, the thing you are working within. Maybe you don't have goals for it. Maybe you don't have targets or anything like that yet. But look at that thing and try to combine it with something else, right? You want to create something new, some new concept, some new idea by combining 2 disparate things, 2 completely different things. Now, what does that mean? Well, maybe you work in corporate, right? So you work in an office environment and you have to do a quarterly presentation for your boss. Now, that's a fairly straightforward thing to do, but maybe you don't really know what you want to do in the company. Maybe you aren't positive where you want to go. Do you want to stay with this company? Maybe you don't really know if this is the career for you. Okay, so you could theoretically in that presentation combine what is this very drab, boring environment with hip hop. You could hire clowns. You could do balloons. Like, are these stupid ideas? Absolutely. I do not recommend you do it. You'll probably get fired. The point is not to actually execute on the idea. The point is just to combine totally different things and see what comes of it. Maybe it sparks something new for you. Maybe it does lead to something interesting that could be valuable. So the goal here is very simple. There are any number of things that don't seem like they should be connected in any way to the thing that you are doing. And by breaking that mold and combining things that make no sense together, sometimes it leads to, once again, different perspectives and different viewpoints on the thing that you're actually doing. Now, number 3 is to get out of your own way. Oftentimes, the reason that we struggle with understanding what it is we want for our lives or what our goals look like, or even just moving forward on the things that we already know we need to be doing and we already understand. The reason we struggle with it is because of ourselves. We overthink things. We analyze things too much. We try to get too much information before taking an action. We doubt ourselves. We lack confidence. We maybe choose something and then don't choose it because, we don't feel like we're good enough for it. Like, we are in our own ways a lot of the times. A big reason why I've never fully understood what my goals are and what it is that I want for myself is because I've never stopped to think about it. I'm constantly sort of working, and I don't give myself the quiet time and the space to actually think about these things. When I journal, I'm often just recapping what happened instead of thinking about what do I want to happen. I'm in my own way. And one of the things that helped me to start feeling like, okay, I know where I'm going with this. I know what I want to do with this. One of the things that truly helped me was just stopping to ask myself, what do I want? And that means doing it in the situation of what do I want for this particular situation, maybe this deal, maybe this conversation I'm having, maybe this interview, maybe this episode. But then that also means asking myself, what do I want in the macro? What do I want for this show? How long do I want to do it? What do I want it to mean to people? That's my way of getting out of my way because my problem was never asking that. Now, you have to find out what is your issue? What is the reason that you feel stuck right now? And how can you get out of your own way? How can you stop creating the scenario that has allowed that feeling to transpire? And then finally, and this one is extremely valuable, I know it's something you've probably done. If not, then you've probably at least experienced it sort of accidentally, is you have to connect with people. Ideas don't form in a vacuum. Understanding yourself doesn't come in a vacuum. It's not through sitting in some silent room and meditating and then journaling and then meditating again that you figure out who you are. You figure out who you are by connecting with other people and seeing yourself reflected in them. You figure out who you are by connecting to yourself through other people. And that connection to other people, that's going to ultimately give you the most diverse viewpoint on the thing that you are looking at, because you can now see the world through other people's eyes. So oftentimes when I feel the most stuck, I'll just find a meetup event to go to. I'll find a conference to attend. I will connect with people online if I have to. I'll go to a coffee shop and talk to people about random things. It doesn't actually have to be related to my field or my industry or anything that I do. Getting connected with other people allows you to both get their opinion on the thing that you're trying to do and also get the perspective that you gain from talking to them, from connecting with them. And that ultimately allows you to see yourself better and recognize why is this wall here and what it is that you want to do to get past it, what it is that you want to actually accomplish, bypass it. So I hope this was helpful to you. Be sure to click subscribe wherever you are tuning in. If it's over on YouTube, do me a favor, drop a comment down below. The first comment on YouTube will be pinned unless it's like a ridiculous comment. So drop a comment if you're over on YouTube at youtube.com/Gregg Clunis. I love you guys. You really honestly are the reason that I want to make this show as big as possible. I want it to be something that can guide you and help you and connect with you and support you and be there for you when you need it most. Even if the people in your life aren't there for you, I want this show to be there for you. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen and sharing your thoughts with me. Head over to tinyleaps.fm/survey. I'm doing a $50 Amazon gift card. I'm giving away 3 of them to 3 random people who fill out the survey. So head over to tinyleaps.fm/survey and do that. And remember that all big changes come from the tiny leaps you take every day.